There is a major issue in the world of professional wrestling and the internet wrestling community. From the top of the industry right down to the very bottom, there are so many horrific stories of exploitation and abuse that I had to cut off my research after only a few hours. There simply was too much material to work with. For the first time since I started this series, I was concerned. The sheer volume of cases I found with very little effort was alarming, to say the least, and that uncomfortable feeling only got worse as I kept digging. Promoters, wrestlers, fans, men, women, even children. It seemed like every time I thought it couldn't get worse, it did. Until I found one story so vile and heartbreaking, I just decided to stop looking. Join me today as we take a look at the very darkest corner of the wrestling community.
My name is Genevieve Goulet, and I've been working as Lufisto for the past 25 years. I am a very proud professional wrestler. I've always defended women's right in professional wrestling, and I will do so until I die. I don't know if you guys are aware, but lately, CZW, Combat Zone Wrestling, has been promoting us as softcore porn actresses.
On May 15th, 2020, Lufisto, Jordan Grace, Tara Calloway, Kimber Lee, Chrissy Rivera, and several other wrestlers took to social media to blast Combat Zone Wrestling, a promotion run by a man named DJ Hyde, for what they say is the sexist portrayal and exploitation of women in their promotion by using altered and suggestive pay-per-view titles. CZW says they made a deal with Stonecutter Media to re-release their shows under new titles that sound like softcore porn, such as CZW Girls All Assets Revealed and CZW Girls Top Heavy and Tough. However, David Bixenspan, a freelance writer and reporter from Brooklyn, New York, pointed out that Stonecutter Media owns the Combat Zone Wrestling trademark. In this screenshot, we have CZW's official statement regarding the pay-per-view titles. 2 years ago, CZW entered into a licensing agreement with a national media distributor to license CZW and WSU footage. That company has the right to utilize the footage without limitation. They have repackaged and renamed shows as it is their right to do so. Our athletes, regardless of gender, are just that, athletes, whom we are proud of and appreciate. We stand behind the ring action in all our footage. David Bixenspan responds, "You mean the pay-per-view distributor that owns the trademark for Combat Zone Wrestling, something you'd expect the owners of the company itself to hold. Okay." Needless to say, CZW's attempts at redirecting blame sparked an outpouring of criticism from wrestlers online. Here are tweets from some of the women involved in this situation: Lufisto herself, Trisha Parker, and Kimber Lee. We'll begin with Lufisto. Washing your hands from everything. Not your fault, of course. As long as you got your money from Stonecutter Media, nothing else matters. You don't give a shit about anyone who ever performed for you. Proof right here. Just so everyone is aware, there are many women already speaking to lawyers about this, as releases were not signed to authorize licensing footage for profit and distribution. And I'm certain I never signed an agreement giving you the right to sell my intellectual property, nor did any of the women you're blatantly disrespecting. or how you told us all you wouldn't book us if you wouldn't fuck us. It's about time the harassment gets exposed. This is still a developing story, and as of this recording, CZW hasn't issued an official statement addressing the criticisms they've received. Should anything else transpire, however, I'll be sure to update this story in a future video.
The head wrestling coach at Central Valley High School was arrested yesterday after confessing to multiple felony sex crimes against students.
Stephen Reed was the head wrestling coach at Central Valley High School in Redding, California. On February 27, 2020, he was arrested after confessing to multiple felony sex crimes against students. Reed was a walk-on wrestling coach at Central Valley, and district records show that he successfully completed the district's background check and passed. 3 days prior to his arrest, on February 24, 2020, the Shasta County Sheriff's Office Major Crimes Unit was contacted regarding a possible sexual assault on a number of female students over the last 2 years. Shasta County Sheriff's Office later confirmed that Reed was placed under arrest and transported to Shasta County Jail, where he was booked for 8 counts of statutory rape, 4 counts of annoying or molesting a child, 6 counts of sexual assault with a foreign object on a minor, 6 counts of oral copulation with a minor, 1 count of sending lewd material to a minor, 1 count of possession of child porn, and 2 counts of contributing to the delinquency of a minor. Reed is currently being held in jail with a bail set at over $1 million. Eugene Otto Buck Zumov, born March 21, 1951, is a former American professional wrestler better known as Rock and Roll Buck Zumov. Zumov was trained by legends like Vern Gagne, along with Ricky Steamboat, Scott Irwin, and the Iron Sheik. As part of his gimmick, he carried a boombox around at all times. He became a popular light heavyweight competitor in the American Wrestling Association in the early and mid-1980s. Zumov also found success in world-class championship wrestling, as well as making sporadic appearances for the World Wrestling Federation, where he was the first wrestler to ever be put into a body bag by The Undertaker, as well as being Triple H's first opponent. In July of 1986, Zumov was jailed when he was found guilty of sexual misconduct involving a minor. Zumov also served 36 months in prison after being convicted of fourth-degree sexual conduct with a minor on January 23, 1989. Zumov was again arrested on May 27, 2013, and charged with 12 felony counts of criminal sexual misconduct for sexually abusing his daughter between June 1999 and June 2011, beginning when she was 15 years old. He was convicted on all 12 counts on March 5, 2014. Following the verdict, Zumov attempted to flee from the courthouse, but was quickly tackled by court officers and charged with escape from custody. On May 6, 2014, Buck Zumov was sentenced to 25 years in prison on 2 first-degree and 2 third-degree counts of criminal sexual conduct. The judge ordered the sentences on the 4 counts to be served consecutively, which means he will spend the rest of his life in prison. On January 9th, 2020, an indie wrestler by the name of JT Quick posted the following message to the Butthurt Trashbagger Network Facebook group about a fellow wrestler named Chris Burdick. So I'll keep it anonymous on her end, but someone sent me these screenshots from an individual. Notice when he says she's 13 and he's 26. Granted, these messages are about 4 or 5 years old. She sent me these screenshots in light of what others have been posting about pedophiles in the wrestling business. This may get me shade from certain individuals that may defend him and affect some booking opportunities that may or may not have come into my future. She sent me these specifically because of a post I shared earlier about someone else in the business flirting with young girls. Take this post as you will. No, there's no obscene pictures here, but like the creep factor is fucking real. Along with the post, JT included screenshots that the alleged victim sent to him. Let's take a look. Now, since her name wasn't disclosed in the post, I'll be referring to the girl as the minor, as I feel it's important to remember that as we get further into this conversation. Chris starts things off with, "I like that one." The minor responds, "I'm so ugly." Chris replies, "I creep your Facebook all the time. Soon I will see you with big hugs. You're never ugly." The minor, "Ah, that's so cute. You better come tomorrow." Chris, "I'll try." The minor, "You better." The next day, Chris contacts the girl once again. "Good morning, I miss you." The minor responds, "Same to you, I miss you more." A little later on in the conversation, Chris states that, "I'm okay. How are you? I miss you." The minor responds, "I'm good, ready to have a baby, and I miss you too. Wish I could go to the show tonight." Chris then goes on to ask, "Are you in town? Can I see you? Just to say hi." The minor responds, "Yeah, I'm in town, and let me talk to my mom." Chris replies, "I don't want to cause trouble. I just wanted to say hi." On her 14th birthday, Chris sent the minor the following messages. "Hey, happy birthday, love. Hope you have a great day, and I love you." The minor responds, "Thank you. I love you too. Chris, I miss you. Okay, I'll leave you alone now." After she found out that Chris had a wife and child, the minor stopped communicating with him. After a few weeks of silence, however, Chris once again contacted her with 2 heartbroken emojis. The minor simply responded with, "Not my choice. You have a girl and a son." Unfortunately, Chris's hold over the young girl was much stronger than suspected, and they began talking about things that they could do in order to save the relationship. Chris begins, "First, I want to not fight all the time." The minor responds, "I can work on that." Chris replies, "I want us to be friends again and wait till April and go out on that date. I love you. You're literally as close as anyone can be to my heart besides my boys." The minor responds, "It's just hard to not argue, love. Like seeing you with Tina hurts me. I love you. I just feel like you don't put me before her." Chris replies, "We will get to that. Let's get to April, then focus." The minor responds, "So what now?" Chris, "We stay us, talking and laughing and being happy." And as if that wasn't upsetting enough, here's a screenshot in which Chris essentially admits to grooming a minor. Chris begins, "Tell me." The minor, "Why, if you have a girlfriend and don't feel the same way?" Chris, "Don't be mean. You said you wanted to tell me." The minor, "I did, but you don't feel the same way." Chris, name redacted, "I told you, when you're 18, I'm taking you on a date." The minor, "I was going to tell you how many feelings I have for you." Chris, "Well, I miss you at shows, and I hope to see you soon." The minor, I miss you in general. Earlier, I mentioned there was a story so sickening that it ended my research. This is that story. In the summer of 2019, 28-year-old John Matthew Branham, a wrestler from Kentucky, started a relationship with a girl who was only 16. At the very same time, a man named Daniel E. Mills, aged 40, was in a relationship with a girl who was only 15 years of age. According to Somerset Police Captain Mike Carell, the department was contacted by a local resident regarding Mills inappropriately kissing a 15-year-old female. School Resource Officer Jordan Hostclaw and Detective Larry Patterson were able to locate the juvenile and arranged for a meeting with her mother, Stephanie Lynn Jones, and an investigator with the Cabinet for Mental Health and Family Services. Captain Carell stated that during the first meeting, Jones and her daughter denied that Mills was anything more than a family friend. However, as the investigation progressed, another minor daughter told Detective Patterson that she had a sexual relationship with an adult male, John Matthew Branham. Jones immediately denied these allegations. Investigators for the Department of Community-Based Services were able to look at text messages between the 15-year-old and Mills, which appeared to indicate that there was more to their relationship than she or Jones initially let on. This information led to Detective Patterson obtaining search warrants for phones and social media accounts of all parties involved. According to Somerset Police Department, the warrants revealed that both girls were involved sexually with the men in question and that their mother had been fully aware of the relationships. Detective Patterson confirmed that Jones openly allowed the relationships to continue, and Jones allowed her daughters to live with the men, Captain Carell stated. The information gained as a result of the investigation documented a timeline in which sexual relationships between both of Jones's daughters and the adult men had been going on for over a year. Electronic messages and other information from Stephanie Jones confirmed that Jones often promoted and encouraged the relationships to continue and freely permitted her daughters to be sexually involved with the men. It gets worse. On January 23, 2020, John Matthew Branham and his underage victim welcomed their firstborn into the world. Unbelievably, despite Branham facing criminal charges, the two have continued with their relationship. Stephanie Lynn Jones faces 2 counts of first-degree unlawful transaction with a minor pertaining to illegal sex acts involving one juvenile under 16 and another under 18 years of age. Daniel E. Mills faces 2 counts of third-degree rape as well as first-degree sexual abuse and prohibited use of an electronic communication system to procure a minor for sexual offenses. John Matthew Branham faces 1 count of third-degree rape. This is the Creepbusters Facebook group, a group specifically created for calling out people like the ones we've encountered in this video. Here is their mission statement. Creepbusters exists for only one reason: to bust creeps that stalk and otherwise harass wrestling talent, usually the ladies of wrestling. By posting these harassing messages, pictures, and so on, we can help make wrestling a safer place for everyone. Whether you are a talent, a promoter, or a fan, please share your story here. This Facebook group has exposed a countless number of wrestlers, promoters, fans, internet stalkers, you name it, they've exposed it. Here is an example of the type of post you can find on the Creepbusters Facebook page. This is Sal Hernandez, aka the Tejano Kid. Sal is a father, a husband, and an independent wrestler. Sal was exposed on the Creepbusters Facebook page for talking to a decoy who claimed to be only 15 years of age. Let's take a look at that conversation. The decoy starts things off here with, "So text me, I want to know what we're gonna do when you get here. Want to have fun?" Sal responds, "I'm sure we'll figure out something." The decoy, "Okay, well, what time? Would you kiss me?" Sal, "If you want to." 8:30. The decoy, "I asked, but do you?" Text me. Sal, "Give me a few, okay?" The decoy, "Okay, so I'll be ready. I'll walk to Wrangler's at 8:20 and go to the side where the picnic tables are so no one recognizes me." Sal continues, "And yes, you're beautiful." The decoy, "When you get here and see me and we do stuff, you will feel better. There's 4 pics of me so you can feel better. And you got my number. Dunno why you haven't texted me." Sal replies, "Just to let you know, if we do end up having sex, I don't want to hurt you." The decoy, "You won't hurt me. Don't worry. Is your backseat big? What do you drive?" Sal, "I've a big truck." The decoy, "Oh, that's sexy. What kind? I love big trucks. I want a jacked up Ram when I get my driver's license." A little later on in the conversation, Sal states, "I'm 35 and in Texas." The decoy responds, Texas is big." Sal, "Some." The decoy, "I'm from Hiko and I'm 15. Sal, "Okay." The decoy, "So what town?" Sal, "Granbury." Right before they were supposed to meet, however, Sal suddenly had a change of heart when he realized things might not be as they seemed. The decoy says, "I'm dressed already." Sal responds, "You're not a cop, are you?" Sensing that they got everything that they were going to get out of Sal, the decoy finally decided to reveal exactly what was going on. "You don't want to hurt her if you have sex. Those are going to go public. Should not have played dumb." Sal responds, "I know exactly what I've said." And the decoy responds for one final time with, "Now everyone else will." There exists many websites like Creepbusters on Facebook and all over the web, some more reliable than others. To a certain extent, I think groups like these can be a tremendous asset in the fight against any kind of sex crime, but it's easy to get emotionally invested in stories like these, especially when children are involved, and it's also important to remember that everyone is innocent until proven guilty, and that ideally, allegations of sexual assault of any kind should be reported to the proper authorities and not a social media site. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode of It's Still Real to Them. This was certainly a heavier video than my latest offering, but I think it's an important issue that needs more light shed on it. Expect more similar content in the future. If you enjoyed this video and the things that I do here on the channel, and you want to see these videos a little bit early, consider supporting the Patreon. Like the video if you liked it, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one.